We will slip the best ones by you, as we promise to jump every hurdle in order to make this show a hit. So celebrate the runs with us. Sports Night is next.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sports Night. I'm Joe Young.
And I'm Howie Shapiro. We have some fun stuff tonight. You know what I'm really excited for? Jerry's Corner.
Always
Jerry Grant's back.
Highlight of the night, and that's coming up right at the end. Really excited about the piece he's going to be talking about today.
For sure.
And with good reason. There's a lot of excitement, not only in Coon Rapids, but around the state of Minnesota, involving the newest varsity sport for Minnesota State High School League.
Winks.
So we will get to that a little bit later. But not a ton of video this week, but a lot to talk about. We start with the baseball team. They were busy last week. Started with a visit from Andover on Tuesday. It did not go the Cardinals' way. They gave up runs in just about every inning as they lost to the Huskies by a 10-4 score. Jaden Kopp went 2 for 3 with a walk, drove in a couple. Karen able to score 3 times, went 1 for 1, a couple of walks, but in the end, not a good night for the Cardinals as they fall to 4-4 on the year. They bounced right back, though, on Monday, and talk about putting up numbers, 18-0 against St. Paul Central. And you see, Fearing had 4 RBI, had a home run, a couple of walks, scored 3 times. He was 1 for 1. That's the best part of it. And so is Califoot, also 1 for 1 with a home run, 3 RBI. Zach Novak drove in 3 runs. Jaden Kopp went 3 for 3 with a double and an RBI. Phaneuf got the win, went 5 innings. Gave up just 2 hits, a run, 9 strikeouts, and no walks. That's pretty impressive. And they followed it up with a win on Friday over the Blaine Bengals, beating Blaine 4-1. Tommy Dutton went 2 for 3, scored a run. So did Sammy Lee. Jared Fearing drove in a couple on a 1 for 4 night. Danny Scheller drove in a run, 1 for 3 with a walk. And Fearing also got the win on the mound with 6 innings pitched. Gave up a couple of hits and got the win. Just the 1 run, 5 strikeouts, 2 walks. Busy week again as we get toward the end. And it always happens, right? As weather moves in, you got to pack the end of the schedule. So Cardinals at Rogers today being Tuesday. Yep. They host Spring Lake Park on Thursday and Washburn on Saturday.
The Millers. Gotta like that.
Gotta like it when they lose.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
My high school greatest rival for sure. Softball team also a very busy schedule. It started on Monday against the Blaine Bengals and former coach Zach Nienaber. Unfortunately, Cardinals silenced at the plate, got 2 runs, but they lose 7-2 to the Blaine Bengals. Also sitting at 4-4 at that point. Well, the Cardinals were back home on Tuesday. They were looking to bounce back against an even tougher opponent. The Huskies, Andover Huskies, came in at 8-1 and sitting atop the conference standings. They were averaging more than 8 runs per game, including putting up double digits in 2 of their previous 3. It would be a huge test for the Cards, to say the least. Huskies start the scoring in the top of the first. Megan Surgener with a soft liner to short left with 2 outs. That's going to plate a pair of runs. Surgener would score as well. So 3-0 Andover in the first. Kaylin Polson adds to the lead with a 2-run shot in the top of the 3rd inning. It was the first long ball of the day, but it was not the last. That one put the Huskies up 5-0. Cardinals answer in the bottom half. Pacey Olson going deep with 2 out and 1 on. Olson's first home run of the season keeps the Cardinals close 5-2 going to the 4th. Andover had 3 home runs in the game, 2 from Chloe Brown, a solo shot in the 6th, and this 2-run shot in the 7th that put Andover up 9-5. Cardinals had solid rallies in both the 6th and 7th innings. Unfortunately, both fell short. Olson's 3rd hit of the day, a grounder right back through the box, scored Layla Meyer, but the Huskies hold on for a 9-7 win. And that one was exciting. We knew coming in it was going to be a huge test. The Cardinals, we thought, would have to really limit Andover if they had in order to have a chance. Instead, they kept pace with them. The 6th inning especially, the rally was just so much fun to watch. They got the tying run into scoring position, but Andover gets out of it with a double play. And then Andover gets another home run in the top of the seventh to push it back to a 4-run lead. And again, the Cardinals were right there, and they got the tying run back to the plate. They just not able to get them all the way around.
I think they came in, I think it was 8-1 or 9-1 at the time Andover did. And so we talked about it before the game. It's going to be tough. They had an opportunity. I was really impressed how they hung with them and really made a game of it and stayed with it. And on a side note, I just wanted to mention, you had mentioned the Millers being your biggest high school rival. You know what my biggest high school rival was?
The Southwest Indians.
Bedrock. Bedrock High. Jerry should know because Jerry played for Bedrock. So.
You got me. But I figured since you were the Cowboys, Southwest was the Indians.
Southwest definitely was the.
Softball team, as we talked about, that was just the start of a busy week. Monday, Tuesday. How about Wednesday? Third game in 3 days. Unfortunately, that one really didn't go the Cardinals' way. They lose to the Champlin Park Rebels by a 9-0 score, fall to 4-6 on the year.
Look at that.
But then they went to Becker for a tournament on Saturday, and they really got the offense going against De La Salle. 15 runs. Chloe Christie, 3 for 4. Only drove in 1, scored 2. Ryan Mellum, 2 for 4. A couple of doubles, 4 RBI in a run. Maya Ruddy, 2 for 4. A triple at a run. Layla Meyer, 2 for 3. Also had a triple. Drove in a couple, scored 3 times. Annalie Anderson, couple of hits, couple RBIs, a run scored, nothing to it. They run away with that one. Up next was the host from Becker. Cardinals slipped past them with a 5-4 score, get that record back to 500, and then they went into the championship against Rocori, and unfortunately, they lose to Rocori by a 9-0 score, falling back below 500. But you're talking about a team that did not win a game until the playoffs last year. They've seen some softer non-conference teams this season than what they had on the schedule last year. That's to be very true.
Oh, for sure.
But that doesn't make it any easier to reel off 6 wins. So that's a huge improvement. And the fact that they have continually had offense outside of course, the blank against Rocori and also against Champlin Park this last week. But they're putting up big numbers in some other games, and even against quality teams like we saw against Andover.
Yeah, and we have them again later in the week. We'll talk about the upcoming here, but an opportunity, a night game for them, which will be interesting at Aspen Park against Cambridge Isanti. So that should be fun.
Yeah, and we will be there on, as you mentioned, on Friday night. They're at Rogers this afternoon on Tuesday. They will host Spring Lake Park on Thursday, and then, as you mentioned, at Aspen Park on Friday night under the lights. And Howie,
we'll be there.
All right, tennis team also finishing up the regular season this week. So last week went to Delano for a tri-meet with Delano and also Laconia. And because as they have gotten used to roller and squeegeeing the courts to get them ready, they shortened it to 8-point pro sets instead. Cardinals did very well, winning 6-1 over Delano. They sweep in singles, also get wins at first and third doubles, so very solid. And then against the Wildcats, almost the same thing, except that it's all 4 single spots, first and second doubles, and great to see them having as much success as they have had all year. Certainly a bit of a surprise considering they graduated 6 of their 10 varsity players from most of last year's roster. To come back and have the year they're having is phenomenal. Up next was Champlin Park, a much more difficult test, but Cardinals dropping that one 6-1. Ludke and Hevern get the 1 win for the Cardinals at second doubles. DeGroat and Mackey lost at first doubles. I believe that was in 3 sets, though. I didn't have details of those 2. And there you see a couple of straight sets losses at third doubles, second and third singles. But you can see close scores in all of those. So, that's a very quality club in Champlin Park that they're facing. And then on Friday, they took on Andover and won 5-2, their 14th win of the year. There you see it, straight sets wins for Cooper held at first singles, Ryder held at second singles, and Austin Hacker an impressive 6-2, 6-0 win at third singles. Nathan Yang also winning at fourth singles. Had to go to a tie break in that second set but he got the job done. Didham and McCarthy also picking up a straight set win for the Cardinals at third doubles rather. They are at Totino for the crossover on Wednesday. And then look who they are playing on Thursday. Minneapolis Southwest will finish the regular season schedule.
It's gotta be tough for you.
Anytime they face the purple and white, I'm a little torn. But I've certainly been a part of Cardinal Nation longer than I was Indian / Laker.
7 years in high school. You've been here a little longer than that.
A little bit.
Yeah. And the thing, you touched on it earlier, the fact that they've got 14 wins, the tennis squad I'm talking about, after 18.
Huge.
After 18 last year, and they lost so much. I mean, I know Coach Storr came into the season wondering, what are we going to have?
I think realistically and legitimately, if we had talked about it and said, what are your expectations? How would you feel about a 500 season?
Yeah.
I think at 500 he would have been like,
Absolutely.
that's really good, considering what we lost, how young we still are. And again, Cooper Held played third singles most of last year, and as a freshman, and now jumps up to that number one spot as a sophomore. That's so huge to have that kind of consistency in that top spot, and he has played very, very well.
Yes, for sure.
And throughout the lineup, they have been strong, and of course they have to have been in order to pick up 14 wins. But if we had said, well, what do you think your chances are of getting to 14 wins? He said,
probably laughed about it.
He probably would have said, I don't think we have much chance at all.
Considering how much they lost.
It could happen. But I don't. Let's try and get to maybe 8 wins, 10 wins.
We're
would
glad
feel
it has
really
happened,
good.
though, for
but,
sure.
Yeah, fantastic, and the guys have been just tremendous, and it's fun to watch.
Yeah, you bet. Well, the track teams had a couple events last week, starting with a 6-team tournament at Blaine on Tuesday. 5 of the 6 teams are in the Northwest Suburban, including the hosts and the Huskies, which are also section rivals. So this was a great tune-up for the Coon Rapids squads, leading to this week's True Team Championships. We have a handful of highlights to share, starting on the girls' side. Nibel Jock just destroying the competition in the 100-meter hurdles. She runs away in a time of 15.77. Nice run there. She had the lead in the 300 hurdles as well. She runs out of gas a little and ends up finishing second, 47.82. Freshman Ruby Demmer with a solid showing in the 3200. She finishes alone in second place with a time of 12:12.43. Girls going to finish fourth as a team. Boys 100-meter doesn't get any closer than this. Kaijan Cummings-Coleman will finish third in the race, where first through fifth were separated by less than a tenth of a second. Jerry Freeman in the 400-meter, and another close one. He finishes third, time of 51.89, 1/100th of a second out of second place. Jarrett Moore had a solid day for the Cardinals. After a fifth-place finish in the 110-meter hurdles, he finishes third in the 300-meter event, crosses the line in 41.92. Moore also led off the Cardinals 4x4 relay, and the Cardinals are able to set the pace early. Finish this one. Freshman Cyril Lefaka handled the second leg, and you can see Tyler Boston rounds the corner. He's all alone. Jerry Freeman's going to handle the anchor leg as the Cardinals win easily in a time of 3 minutes 30.23. And the boys, they will also finish fourth as a team.
Yeah, some tough competition, and the boys really. I mean, this is the week, right? They've been building up. We've been talking about it all season. True Team. Third 2 years ago, second place last year. Is this their year? We'll find out this week. A couple of great tune-up events. This one against Blaine, and you see just some great finishes. Dennis was first place in both the shot put and the discus. Second place finish for Barker in the pole vault. Moore, you talked about fifth place in the 110 hurdles. Had a teammate right behind him in sixth place. So overall, a solid outing for them on the girls' side. As you mentioned, also a fourth place finish. And it's those places. They didn't have a lot of first and second place finishes, very few actually. But as a team, they were able to scrape it up enough points to be right in the middle of that pack. 4th out of 6 teams, not terrible. Best finish of the day was, or one of them, outside of Nibel Jock, who has been outstanding all season long, is Tessa Del Frati, who finished third place in the pole vault with a vault of 6 foot even. That was like a 5-way tie, by the way. Crazy. On Friday, the Cardinals hosted a tournament, and I think this was 8 teams actually. And the boys were first place, and they had a ton of blue ribbons. Kaijan was first place in the 100 and 200 meter. Jerry Freeman was first in the 400. Dennis, again, first place in the shot put. Wheatonin was third place in the shot put. Second place finish for Dennis in the discus. And in the long jump, the Cardinals go 1-2. And they also had the first place finisher in the triple jump. On the girls' side, they finish in sixth place. Nibel Jock, again, first place finishes in both hurdles. Second place finish for the 4x1 relay team was very solid. Flores was third in the shot put with a toss of 31 feet, 10 and a half inches, with Capon right behind her in sixth. Hayden was fourth place in the discus. And the high jumpers all jumping about the same height, 7th, 8th places, and also took fourth place in the log jump. That was Arena going 13 foot, 1.5 inches. So good tune-ups, but here is the test. True team is today, Tuesday, and then next week they're at Armstrong, and Blaine will be there as well. But very excited to see how that finishes.
Yeah, the results will be great. Should be interesting
for True Team. Boys golf team, Northwest Suburban Conference was at Refuge on Tuesday last week, and the boys finished in 13th place. One of their worst finishes of the conference season so far, even though Oscar Berg had one of their best rounds of the year, finishing just a 2 over. But a big gap between he and Law, who finished with an 85. Anderson was in with an 85 as well. Barsness a 92. Then they were supposed to have the mid-season tournament on Thursday. That was rained out. So, and they will not make that one up. On Friday, they had the first round of the Blaine Invitational. Cardinals did okay. Had a couple of guys in the 70s. Law had a +2 day, so he bounced back really, really well from the 85 he had earlier in the week. Oscar Berg, another solid outing with a +4. They went for round 2, started on Saturday morning. They had practice starting at like 6:30. The round started at 7:30. By the time they got halfway, they got to 9 holes, everybody, I guess, was done. I traded emails back and forth with Coach Bruggers. He said by the time they got through 9 holes, everybody was cold, wet, and miserable. It
was a crummy day on Saturday.
Until the afternoon.
Yeah, then it was fine.
By mid-afternoon,
right.
It was absolutely gorgeous out. So too bad they didn't just see that and push it back 6 hours. I don't know if they could have done that from the start, but that's not how it went. So they only got half of that event in. So those, they finished in 7th place. I think there were 12 teams in that tournament to start with, 10 or 12 teams. So not bad, but not completely finished either. So, but it's always good to get out on the course. They've got a really cool event happening. They're over at Edinburgh today with Champlin Park and Osseo playing a team match round. So kind of like the Ryder's Cup, match play as a team. Not something that you do very often in high school sports or high school golf. So that should be a lot of fun for them. And again, it's obviously one of the nicer courses in the area, the course over there at Edinburgh. Northwest Suburban Conference will be at Loggers Trail next Tuesday. And then the Northwest Suburban Conference is at Bunker Hills on Tuesday, the 21st. Girls golf team took on Maple Grove, went head-to-head. Their score is not terrible at 238, but Maple Grove just outstanding, shooting a 149 as a team. Cardinals would like to see those scores get a little bit lower. Semensky had the top finish with a 55, Davis a 59. But they're missing, again, a couple of their top girls. They're still hoping that Lily McKenzie will be back from her injury before they get to the final tournaments of the year. Then on Wednesday, they took part in the Purple Hawk Invite, hosted by Cambridge Isani, a 9th place finish overall. Abby Hill was the number 1 finisher for the Cardinals with a 111, Semensky a 114, Abels a 118, and Sophia Meyer a 119. They were supposed to go head-to-head against Champlin Park last week. I think that was supposed to be on Thursday. That got rained out. They're playing that one today. They will host Centennial on Thursday, and then there is a tournament at Bunker Hills next Tuesday as they get ever so much closer to the final tournaments of the year.
Yeah, Oscarberg for the guys. It's interesting to see a couple of back-to-back really nice rounds. It'll be interesting to see what his third round will be, and if he can continue to score in the 70s. That's impressive.
Well, and that's two over, and I mean Noah Law turned around, went from an 85
to a 74.
Plus 13 down to a plus 2 on his next round. So it's such a difficult sport, especially to find consistency. But if they can get a couple of guys hitting consistently, ultimately it is an individual sport. So come tournament time, which is right around the corner, you get a couple of good consistent rounds, you make it into the deeper parts of section tournament. You never know. When it's your day, maybe you get a couple of rounds back-to-back and you get yourself to state.
And then you feel some consistency and you get a little more confidence in your game, especially when you're shooting a couple of rounds 100%. In the 70s.
Well, the boys lacrosse team has just 3 games left in the regular season schedule, and the Catbirds are hoping to build some momentum before sections. Last week, they had mixed results in a couple of conference contests. It started with a visit from the Bengals on Monday night. Blaine was just ahead of SLPCR in the Northwest Suburban standings with 2 wins to the Catbirds' 1. Tight game early and great movement from the SLPCR squad. They work it around to Nolan Hazelwood. He'll shoot to the far side to even the game at a goal apiece. Catbirds trail 2-1 after 1. Bengals able to push the lead with a lot of possession in the second. Quick catch and release for Steve Axelrod out front. That put Blaine on top by 5. And they keep the roll going. Alex Crane gets past the pressure, goes across to Mark Radke. He bounces it home. One of his 4 in the game, Blaine up 7-1. SLPCR able to trim the lead late in the second. Hazelwood on the run gets it to Toby Tranby down low. He scores from a nearly impossible angle. Just the start of a big night for him. And it gives the home team some momentum. Blake Mellum draws the defense, gets it to Tranby again. He skips it past the keeper. Still Blaine up 7-3 at the half. Unfortunately, Bengals own the third quarter, outscoring SLPCR 4-0 in the frame. That goal by Axelrod early in the fourth made it 12-3. Catbirds battle better in the fourth. Tranby completing the hat trick off a great feed from Hazelwood, but they never challenged the lead. Blaine goes on to the 15-6 win.
Yeah, and you talked about Tranby. I think he leads the team with 19 goals on the season. He's playing well, and I think they have 3 players in double figures in terms of goal scoring. So, yeah, obviously they'd like some more wins, but they're at least putting the ball in the net.
Well, did you look at those numbers after the stats from last night's game were added in?
I might have.
That is my question.
I might have.
Why?
I did
Why do I
today.
ask? Why do I ask?
What?
Because Nolan Hazelwood absolutely went off last night.
I think he has 18 goals.
As they beat Osseo Park Center 15-4. That was Wednesday's game last week that they beat Osseo Park Center 15-4. Burke had 3 goals, 6 assists. Hazelwood had 4 goals and 2 assists. Tranby, as you talked about, is their leader. 4 goals and 2 assists in that one. Fast forward to last night. I'm super excited about this because they beat Forest Lake, which is a little bit better team than OPC, by a 14-10 score. Look at Nolan Hazelwood, 6 goals and 2 assists. He was everywhere. Tranby had a couple of goals and a couple of helpers. Herzog also netted himself a hat trick. But they have Champlin Park at home on Wednesday this week, Simley next Thursday, and then they have one more game, and I don't remember who that's going to be. But what a win over Forest Lake,
that's a great win.
And a great finish for Nolan Hazelwood. And as we talk about, throw all the records out the window in a couple of weeks here, and
29 goals in their last 2 games. That's impressive.
And you get section tournament time. That's all that matters.
Yep,
that's all that matters. All right, they've got, we already talked about their upcoming schedule. Girls lacrosse continues to struggle. Last week, they started against Spring Lake Park, lost 17-5. Burke had a couple of goals. Wigan had a couple. Abbott had one, but 17-5 drops them to 0-5 on the year. Then on Wednesday, they did a little bit better. They got 7 goals. That's a solid step in the right direction. Unfortunately, they gave up 12. Wigan again had a couple, and then Abbott had a couple, and Ashley Flynn had a couple, and then Barnes had the 7th goal of the game for the Cardinals.
Yeah, I mean, again, 0-6 on the season, and they're struggling. They're looking, to see if they can get their offense going a little bit, obviously.
this week could be big for them.
It definitely could be. I know they've got some opportunities on the schedule where they can come in and see what they can get done.
And we did talk about it last night during the game. It's been almost 2 years since they had a win.
Yeah.
But they're scoring much better this year than they did last year. Hugely better. By midseason this year, they had more goals than they had all of last year.
Well, the Cardinals open play this week, hosting a non-conference opponent that appeared to be very beatable. The Irondale Knights had lost 6 straight since winning their season opener, so both teams were looking at Monday's game as an opportunity to get a much-needed win. Both teams had chances in the first quarter, but only the Knights were able to cash in. Ella Hannes with a look in the middle. Start of a big night for her, and Irondale jumps to a 3-0 lead after the first. And they really turn it on in the second. Hannes with, again, this time cutting her way inside to score low. She had 5 goals against Coon Rapids. It was an 8-0 Irondale into the final seconds of the first half coming up. Katie Wiegand able to score off free position and get the goose egg off the board for the home team. Well, unfortunately, that was their only tally of the night. They played tighter defense in the second half, with the only goal of the third quarter coming with just 1 second left. The Knights add 3 more in the fourth, on their way to a 12-1 win.
Yeah, it was really kind of it was hard. You felt for the girls because they had some really good looks in that first. They had some good possessions. They had 1 goal that was waved off for stepping into the goalie circle. They had a couple that either just went wide or the goaltender made a big save. So close to it could have easily been 1-1 at the end of that first period. It could have been 3-3. I mean, it was close. Could have gone either way, and just couldn't get it. And then once they really started rolling, the Cardinals' shoulders started sagging. Unfortunately, another good chance for a win though. They're on the road against Osseo Park Center on Wednesday. They will host Duluth Marshall on Thursday. Well, as we talked about at the beginning of the show, for the first time in more than a decade, the MSHSL will add a new varsity sport next spring. Coon Rapids is one of more than 100 schools already competing in boys volleyball. In its final year as a club sport, we've seen a lot of excitement and support for the team, and we're really looking forward to see how it continues to grow moving forward. We've done a couple of games this spring, and they're a lot of fun. So we sent Jerry Grant to Cardinals practice last week to get us the inside scoop. And he joins us now from Jerry's Corner with more.
Thanks, Joel. I did have a chance to talk with the boys volleyball team, the coaches, the captains. And the one thing I noticed right away, there were about 45 to 50 kids in that gym. So they have a great turnout for the sport. The coaches told me that they can field 3 or 4 teams, which is outstanding. It is the #1 sport for growth across the country, boys volleyball. And that excitement was something I saw in those interviews. Let's take a look at what I found.
Starting any new sport at the high school level takes time, effort, and patience. Co-head coach Cody Ives talks about the early days of Coon Rapids boys volleyball.
I think from what we came with, our first game we had event staff t-shirts. We didn't have uniforms. Him and I were drawing numbers on the back of event staff shirts the day of the game. And now we have uniforms, our own balls, ball cards, all this stuff. Like that's been fun. It's been the best part, just building the program and watching these kids get to play and grow. And we've had, quite a few that have been here since day 1 too. And it's been just crazy. It's been just crazy. I don't really have no word for it, just crazy, but it's been great. I would just looking back at just day 1 of building this, it's always gonna be a memory.
This building goes beyond facilities and players. It also ties to legitimacy and changing mindsets related to men playing volleyball and including anyone who wants to join.
Men's volleyball has been a lot more appreciated in general, just as a culture, and it seemed a lot more, because volleyball itself was obviously seen in like in a men's sense, like in a masculine sense, a lot more of like as a girly sport, which isn't really true at all.
We wanted that connotation to go away. So holding ourselves to a standard, making sure coaches are dressed professionally, making sure we're out there in the community and people are going, oh, boys volleyball, they do grocery bagging, they do fundraisers all over the community. So just legitimacy, that's our big thing.
I think at Coon Rapids, there's such just a variety of people. Like, it's just so fun to be around, like, shorter kids, taller kids, mixed group of people, funny people, serious people. It's a really fun program just to be around so many people.
And legitimacy certainly ties to play on the court.
You know, I think we are one of the top 3 teams in our section. I think I think we got a chance at going to state, and that's where I see us being at the end of the year. We're good enough. Now it's just smoothing out the issues and rolling, and we'll be in Shakopee in June, I think.
I was the captain of the basketball team, and we made it to state then, so that's my goal here too.
You know what? I think if we get on top of our game, I really think we're at the top of our conference. It'll be kind of tough, but I think we can pull through, and we'll probably take it to state.
Hopefully the team can knock on the state tournament door. Regardless, they can all look back years from now and know they put boys volleyball on the map.
We're going to say we got here because of the strength and kind of stick-to-itiveness of coaching staff, players, community members, parents, you name it. There are people all across the board who are willing to work hard for no discernible gain other than to ingratiate the community. And these kids here represent the best and brightest of our community. So to have them play on this team and to give them a spot as Cardinals outside of traditional sports, I mean, that's what we want. That's what we want to build. We want to build this into a traditional sport. And giving them a spot to help communities who are underrepresented feel represented, I can't think of a higher calling for our community.
I mean, go Cards!
As you can see, they are having a lot of fun and also having some success on the court. So I really look forward to seeing what they can do by the end of the year. And Howie, I did want to mention that I did go to school with Barney at that Bedrock.
You guys, you were on the track team with Barney,
Yes,
weren't
I
you?
was.
Yeah,
He's pretty quick.
I thought so.
Well, I appreciate it, Jerry. It has been so much fun to see those guys playing, and they're getting good crowds in the building too. So a lot of excitement around it, and as Jerry talked about, a lot of numbers in the gym. So they should be growing in years to come, and we will be following.
Yeah, I just love the direction they're going in. I love the energy of the program, and starts with the coaches and goes right on down to the players. It's fun. Just very exciting program.
Well, we're very excited about all the Cardinal programs every day. We're excited to see a couple of games under the lights. Softball on Friday against Cambridge Isani. Baseball on Monday against the Minnetonka Skippers. And then we will see the softball team again next Friday, again under the lights, this time against Zimmerman. But that's going to do it for this edition of Sportsnight. I want to thank everybody out there for joining us and continuing to support everything we do here at CTN. For the entire crew, including Jerry Grant and Howie Shapiro, I'm Joe Young saying goodnight.